Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is November 3rd, 2024. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to assassinate one Donald J. Trump on the date of November 3rd or the date of November 4th, just prior to the election on November 5th. Specifically to trigger a civil war in the United States. So as it currently stands on November 3rd, 2024, Donald J. Trump is slated to win the U.S. presidential election in a landslide against Democrat Kamala Harris. And the CIA cannot, under any circumstances, allow this to happen. And so they are going to neutralize Donald J. Trump on the date of November 3rd or the date of November 4th. So for the record, I just want to state here, it's 100% certain that the CIA will assassinate or neutralize Donald J. Trump on the date of November 3rd. And it's 100% certain that the CIA will assassinate or neutralize Donald J. Trump on the date of November 4th, 2024. So exactly how this will manifest itself in reality is obviously not known, but Trump is currently slated, he just landed in Kingston, North Carolina, and then he will be going to Macon, Georgia. This is on the date of November 3rd, Sunday, and then on the date, on Sunday, yeah. And then on Monday, November 4th, the day prior to the election, Trump will visit Raleigh, North Carolina, Reading, Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So basically, the CIA is going to neutralize Trump in North Carolina, Georgia, or Pennsylvania. So exactly what's planned for the 45th president and soon to be 47th president of the United States is obviously not known. But if you'll recall, back on July 13th, 2024, the CIA staged this sniper assassination event targeting Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And then a few days later, on September 15th, I believe, they staged a false flag assassination attempt targeting Trump at a golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. And then a few weeks later, they had an armed so-called sovereign citizen attempt to gain entrance to a Trump rally in Coachella, California. So we've had 3 assassination events in the last few months, and of course the number 4, this is the Swiss cross, and that's because Switzerland is going to neutralize the future president of the United States. This is what's called Swiss interference. This is with the CIA. They always blame it on Russian interference. That being said, this impending assassination event targeting Trump could be scapegoated onto China, Iran, Pakistan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, or some Islamic terror groups such as ISIS, Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, etc. It could also be a domestic assassination event blaming left-wing groups such as Antifa, Black Lives Matter, or it could be a right-wing, so-called Christian nationalist, in which they claim that somebody on the right assassinated him. But regardless, we know it's going to be the CIA, and we know that the Secret Service, whose initials are SS, they will obviously stand down in the event that this goes forward. While a sniper event is highly likely, there's also the realistic possibility that the CIA will stage a mass shooting assassination event, a suicide bombing, a 9/11 style attack, a truck bombing. I mean, obviously the scenarios are endless, but mark my words, Donald J. Trump is slated to be murdered in a ritualistic blood sacrifice just prior to the election. What they want to do is essentially balkanize the United States, similar to Europe and other regions of the world. Once Trump is killed, then the CIA will bring in foreign forces, most likely the Azov Battalion and the Wagner Group, and the IDF soldiers will come in and under the guise of pro-Trump militias, and they will begin to balkanize the United States in a civil war. There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA will assassinate Trump under the guise of a medical emergency. Coincidentally, today marks 63 days since Trump has been campaigning nonstop, so they may execute or assassinate him under the guise of exhaustion, or a heart attack, a stroke, a brain aneurysm, some sort of COVID or respiratory infection. There's also the high likelihood that the CIA would assassinate or neutralize Trump under the guise of a timely accident. This could be a car accident, a limousine-related accident, a helicopter or plane-related accident. There's also the possibility that the buildings in Kingston, North Carolina, Macon, Georgia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Reading, Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, since these outdoor events that Trump likes to hold, the Secret Service has essentially told Trump to try to keep the rallies indoor, and this may be because they're planning on staging a collapse of the building, possibly under the guise of a bombing, an earthquake, of some sort of manufacturing defect or accident. We just had in Serbia, they just had a train station that collapsed, so maybe some sort of airport-related collapse, possibly a hangar, possibly a walkway or a causeway, or these buildings may suffer a structural collapse, possibly under the guise of a storm or something like that. There's also the possibility that the CIA would assassinate Trump under the guise of basically a murder or murder-suicide, possibly under the guise of a dispute inside the Trump campaign. Although unlikely, there's also the possibility that the CIA would assassinate Trump under the guise of a suicide assassination in the aftermath of Truth Social's stock price plummeting. But the most likely scenario, like I mentioned, is some sort of rogue lone wolf assassin that's allegedly backed by Iran, China, Russia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, etc., or that the CIA would assassinate Trump in a terror attack and basically kill a bunch of people along with Trump to make it look like he wasn't the actual target. The date of November 3rd marks coincidentally exactly 1,400 days since Trump ordered the assassination of Iranian IGCR General Qasem Soleimani at the Baghdad International Airport back in 2019, I believe, and so they're planning on staging an Iranian revenge assassination targeting Trump. This may come in the form of a missile strike, possibly via the two Iranian naval fleets that left for the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean a few years ago. These are obviously this is cover for an Israeli ships that are planning on acting as Iranian ships, so there's a possibility that they'll send a drone, a missile, some sort of an attack like this, possibly in North Carolina, which is right on the coast, and Georgia, which is obviously on the Atlantic Ocean. So we don't know exactly what's planned, but something is definitely planned. So the next 48 hours, the CIA plans to assassinate or neutralize the Trump campaign. There's been multiple incidents of Trump's plane having engine problems, so there's a possibility that they would stage a shoot down of Trump's plane or an accident or a mid-air collision. But it's going to happen in the next 48 hours. So if in fact it does, I kindly ask that you download this video and share with local, state, and federal military, law enforcement, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. The movie Civil War is in the theaters right now, and that's what's going to happen. Trump is slated to landslide Kamala Harris on Tuesday, and so the CIA is absolutely desperate, and so they're going to do something. We don't know what, but they're going to do something. There's also the possibility that they would assassinate, possibly suicide, Trump's youngest son, Barron Trump, or Ivanka Trump, so that Trump dies of heartache when he finds the news. So the whole Trump family is in danger right now, especially going into this election, because once Trump is in power, then he's going to open investigations into these Democrats that have foreign links to Switzerland and other intelligence apparati, if you will. And so this is going to essentially disrupt the entire CIA plan for the United States and the world, for that matter. And so this next 48 hours is hyper critical. Lastly, given that today's Sunday, we have Sunday night football tonight, and we have Monday night football tomorrow night. Last week, we had San Francisco 49ers star Nick Bosa basically come on camera and show his Trump hat, because he's a Trump supporter. And then we had, the week prior, we had a woman run onto the field with a sign, a pro-Trump sign. So what it looks like is that on the date of November 3rd or the date of November 4th, the CIA is planning on staging a so-called Trump publicity stunt, which will obviously backfire. So this is going to be likely nefarious in nature. I don't know what they're planning, but it looks like they're going to have some people storm the field or attack somebody, possibly CBRN in nature. They might fly something into the stadium, and then a lot of people are likely going to die. And it could also start a mass panic or a stampede, and then they would have all these dead people, and they would say that it's Trump's fault or this Trump supporter, and they're going to smear Trump and his campaign right in the last hours right before the election, and they'll say that that was the deciding factor. Considering all the rhetoric surrounding migrants and immigrants, it might have to do with that, possibly Haitian or in nature. And there's also the possibility that right before the election on November 5th or November 4th or November 5th, that the CIA will stage a stock market crash to basically try to get the United States onto a war footing, and or hijack the Diebold voting machines. This is a Canadian company, so this would obviously cause a ruckus right before the election. So look for that too. So obviously, if any of these events, like I mentioned, happen, I kindly ask you to download this video and share it on social media and everywhere. Thanks. Peace.